Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain for You. So, today's topic is going to be the age of responsibility. So, that'll make sense in a couple of minutes. But we're going to take a couple of nice deep breaths. We're going to get ourselves centered, relaxed. Feel our body relax, the tension leave. Breathe in the peace. Exhale the tension, the noise. Breathe in the confidence. Exhale the fear. All right. So, the age of responsibility. I think Dr. Sarno touched on this a long time ago. But I was able to just confirm this concept by taking a look at some of the analytics for my YouTube channel, which is pretty interesting. And when I talk about the age of responsibility, I kind of mean like when we're kids, we don't have that many responsibilities. And frankly, a lot of people who have retired and have raised their kids have fewer responsibilities. And for anybody who's over that retirement age, not diminishing the responsibilities you do have, but just suggesting that a 40-year-old probably has a little bit more life pressures and commitments and overwhelm than somebody who is under 25 or over 65. So what's fascinating is this bottom half of the paper here shows the age ranges, and you can see that these graphs are very heavily weighted towards the middle. And I'll just walk you through it. So basically, here's how it works. Only 1.7% of my viewership on YouTube is under the age of 25 years old. 1.7. So basically, while TMS can strike younger people, they're either not aware of it or it's not in the same volume as people who get older. And on the other end, 65 years and older only equates for about 11% of my viewership. So all told, about 13% of everybody who's watching my YouTube videos is under 25 or over 65. What that means is the other 87% of the people watching are between the ages of 25 and 65, which is the age of responsibility. Because think about it, as you go through life. Before 25, yes, we've got pressures. I'm not suggesting that it's not stressful to to go through elementary school, middle school, high school, college. But once we're done, I guess around age 25, there's a lot of societal pressure to say, hey, you're 25, you better figure your crap out and get something going here. Some people, depending upon the cultures, feel like, hey, you should be married. You should start having kids. You should have a career. You should be doing this, that, or that. And we've got these responsibilities, and we feel all of this pressure from either society or from ourselves that we need to perform. It's time to grow up, be an adult. You've heard that phrase before. Hey, grow up. Make something of yourself. And we try to meet the pressures of our parents and our siblings. We're competing with siblings. And we've got all sorts of pressures. So the age of responsibility is really that 25 to 65, where we've got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of overwhelm, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. And the self-imposed stress just adds on top of that. So I just found this was really interesting. And this does correlate with a discussion I recently had, and it brought up an older video of mine, does aging cause pain? Right? Because what I just talked about the statistics here, absolutely supports my belief that aging does not cause pain. And so I did a video a while ago. If somebody reminds me, I'll post it in the comments or in the description if it's not already there. But I don't believe aging is supposed to hurt. We see people, living to 100. We see people in their 80s running marathons. We see all sorts of amazing achievements of older people. I think there's a societal belief that aging is supposed to hurt, when in fact a lot of it may very well just be TMS. And so when we have an excuse or a reason why we're hurting, like, oh, I'm in my 60s now, so I'm getting old, aches and pains, and that's normal, and we just kind of accept it, I would venture to say that the people who actually have TMS is probably 10 times higher than the people who actually know they have TMS, because they think, as you get older, you get these things. But the age of responsibility is actually, the statistics are proof that, if aging really hurt, there'd be a heck of a lot more people over age 65 watching the videos. You would think that the curve would be like this, from a low all the way up, until, it peaks out at age 80 or 85, right? But it doesn't. It curves up, age of responsibility, and then it curves down significantly for people over 65. So it's just evidence that aging should not hurt. If you have a story in your head or have been brainwashed to believe that, hey, as I get older, I'm just going to start hurting, throw that crap out. It's not useful. It's not helpful. It's not even accurate. It's not true. TMS is too much stress, combined with TMT, too much thinking, combined with TMF, too much fear, TMP, too much pressure. All right, that equates to stress. But you get the point. The age of responsibility, those ages between 25 and 65, that's when we're supposed to be on the ball and producing, and whether it be cranking out kids or cranking out a career and money and performance. That's the age of responsibility. And it's amazing that the younger ages of responsibility are where we tend to hurt more. And as we get older and the responsibility and the pressures start to die down, the symptoms and the frequency of pain seems to be calming down. So an interesting dialogue, somebody commented on my video about, does aging cause pain? I think she said she was 71 now, and she's doing so much better. And she knows so many people who are very active, very fit, running marathons, doing all sorts of things in their upper ages, but yet some of her worst pain was in her middle ages, 40s, 50s, 60s. And so aging is not supposed to hurt us. If you have that belief, throw it out. If you feel you're too old to end your pain from TMS, you're not. You're absolutely not. People are getting better at any age. Why? Because it's not an age thing. It has nothing to do with age. It has to do with teaching your brain that your body's actually okay and safe. And it doesn't matter if you've got degenerative disc disease or arthritis, osteoarthritis, or whatever the normal aging is that hits our bodies. That doesn't have to hurt. It's not supposed to hurt. And it's evidenced by how many adults, older aged adults, don't have pain. So aging doesn't hurt. But for some reason, the age of responsibility absolutely does seem to be where people hurt more. And knowing what you know about TMS makes complete sense. Makes complete sense to me anyway. So I just wanted to point out the age of responsibility. And as you do a little bit of analysis and try to gain some insight into your own situation, and you start to look at your history of symptoms throughout your life, see how it lines up with this concept, age of responsibility. And what kind of pressures were you feeling, and responsibilities and overwhelm were you feeling? What kind of self-imposed pressures were you putting yourself under to have a career, have kids, have money, have a house, and live the American dream? Does that correlate with this age of responsibility, between the ages of 25 and, let's say, 65? I'll also just say this other thing. Some of the gentlemen who I've worked with tend to have some significant onsets of TMS, too much stress, too much pain, when they hit around 65 and when they retire. Because so many of the gentlemen, and I'm not saying this doesn't apply to women, but at least the people I've talked to, some of the gentlemen seem to take this retirement thing kind of hard. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm going to retire. Don't have to do anything. Woo-hoo. But then all of a sudden they're like, I have no purpose. Where's my meaning? Where's my contribution? You mean I'm just going to sit around and do nothing? And so for anybody in that position, this age of responsibility may shift. It goes from this, you got to perform, you got to deliver, you got to earn money, you got to raise a family, you got to do everything right. And that's the responsibility that many of us feel between 25 and 65. But for anybody, whether it be man or woman, who is in retirement age and feeling the onset or continuation of TMS symptoms or pains, maybe a little thought as to what are the judgments about yourself now that you're retiring? Do you have a purpose? Do you feel like you've got a purpose? And for anybody who says, I don't have a purpose anymore, I've got no meaning, there's no reason to be here. What if your purpose is to enjoy yourself? You've worked your ass off for decades. What if your purpose now is to enjoy yourself? Smile. Maybe bring some smiles into the other people in your life, whether it be family, kids, grandkids. If you don't have them, friends, acquaintances, the person at the grocery store. What if your purpose through life is to have a good time and positively impact as many people as you can? It's a hell of a purpose. For anybody who struggles to say, I've got no meaning, I don't have a career, okay, this is a great fallback. And even though those of us who feel like we need a career or have a career, you know what? Making other people smile, making yourself smile. Come on, people. Make yourself smile. That's a hell of a life's purpose. This is not supposed to be painful. Not physically, not mentally, not emotionally. We've got the blessing of being on this planet. Why suffer through it? Why judge ourselves? Why beat ourselves up through it? Treat yourself with some love, compassion, kindness. Reassure yourself that whatever's going on, you're going to be okay. Because you will be. I trust that with my heart. I hope you can. So the age of responsibility. How does that play into your world? How does that play into your TMS, into your emotions, into your stresses and your tensions? Just give it some thought. See whether or not that kind of allows you to shift a little bit and see, the full spectrum of life from young to old with a little bit of a different perspective. I think some of this stuff sometimes helps us to gain a little bit of insight that we may have been missing before as we try to do this emotional awareness and discovery. So, love you guys and gals. Hope you have an amazing Sunday. It's still the weekend. Awesome. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Love you.